As I lay here in my bed, I find myself thinking about a lot of things. A lot of things that are very important. I find myself contemplating just kind of where I am. And something I've struggled with as of late is resolve. This past week has been a little bit packed. We were told that we had about 3 weeks to come up with enough money to catch up the mortgage or we lose the house. And it's really put into perspective just how cruel life can be. You know, I didn't really well, I try not to really give these sorts of things too much thought because I mean, it's stressful. It hurts. It's really hard to dwell on those things without tearing yourself apart sometimes. And I am very prone to self-destructive tendencies, and I will sit here and tear myself apart trying to figure out how the fuck I'm going to do this. And it's just a nightmare. It's a nightmare. And I struggle to find reasons to carry on with what I'm doing. You know, this is something that's very difficult. You know, this motivation is hard to hold on to. And that's what resolve is to me. That's what that word means to me. It's not just willpower. It is how strong that willpower is and what it can last through. And I've discovered that mine is not as strong as I once thought. I've had my ass handed to me pretty hard lately. And I've been beat so many directions, I don't know which way is up anymore. I have a direction, I know what I want to do, where I want to go, but I have no idea how to get there, and it's, I don't even want to start because, I feel like at any waking moment it could all be torn from me, But that's no way to live, But I struggle. It's not as simple as make the most of it. I mean it is, but it's so much deeper than those few words. It means so much more than just memento mori, I guess, carpe diem. I should have carped way more DMs. Now we're never gonna see them. So you can tell I was a theater kid because I cope with my problems using Beetlejuice and Heathers. That's how you know I was a theater kid. I wasn't even a theater kid. I just used that as a mask because sometimes getting along during the day is a lot easier in someone else's shoes. And sometimes just kind of stepping into character really gets me through a day. It's a weird feeling, and it's been very useful lately, but I know better than to retreat behind the masks as my sole option, because these masks, while they do work, they train a separate part of my brain. It's like raising a second version of yourself, or more, depending on how many you have. If you're not careful, you can almost get into this self-developed dissociative identity disorder. You can go right down the split personality path and just split yourself into a system without even knowing it, if you're not careful. And I did that to myself. I did. It took me forever to put myself back together, but I did it. And that's certainly been a process. But I still use those masks because my resolve alone hasn't been enough lately. I'm kind of broken down right now, and I need downtime to get myself together, but life hasn't given me downtime. I've just been beaten down and beaten down some more and beaten down some more and beaten down some more. It's just how life has been recently, and that's just it's exhausting. I am so utterly exhausted. Like, when a man says he's tired and doesn't elaborate any further, that is a suicide flag right there. That's what that is. That is a man telling you that it's getting real close. And I've reached that stage where I'm not just stressed, I'm tired. And I say that as a man that hasn't accomplished very much, because I'm so mentally drained that I'm just exhausted. Because that's the real problem. My body can totally handle this. I know I can do this. I have a plan in motion. The groundwork is set for me to do great things. And everything's just kind of been taken from me. It's truly upsetting. It is. It's deeply upsetting. And I'm worn. I'm worn thin. My mind is too drained to even begin to fight the fight. I can't, but I keep going because, well, I wasn't built with the quit. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going, but I know that I can't stop. Because if I really wanted to stop, I would have ended it. I would be long gone by now. If I really wanted to stop, I could make it stop. But I haven't done that because I know my work isn't done. I know I can do this. It's a matter of getting it done. It's really difficult to do this. Especially with what I'm trying to do. It's been really rough. And these videos, by the way, are, well, audios. They're not really going to have any structure. I'm just rambling right now because I'm trying to throw my thoughts out there on the internet, and maybe these unfiltered processing thoughts will help somebody else. I don't know. Or maybe you guys have advice. That I'm open to that. The will is there, but I just don't have the capacity to push myself. I need a break. but I'm not getting it. And it's pulling me down so hard. But I know I can't stop because, I mean, frankly, I've got growing to do, and this is kicking my ass. And I have to figure out how to not let it do that, which is a lot easier said than done, I guess, but that's all it really is. It's a matter of getting back up, and I'm really struggling with that right now. I don't know what to stand on right now. It's been very difficult. I've been sick. I've been tired and just depressed. Everything has just been really kicking my ass. But I can't let it. I have to keep going. I have to get up and keep pushing. I don't have a choice. I have to find a way to do this, especially now, because now the house is in trouble, and I've got to get it together, because I'm sure we will find a way to pay this right now, but we've got to make it until September as of recording this. That is 5 months. And it's going to be rough. It's going to be really rough. I don't know how we're going to do it. I don't. But what I do know is that fucking somehow this is just going to work. It doesn't make sense, and it shouldn't. But I know somehow we're gonna be okay, because I know I can do this. I just don't know what that's gonna look like right now, and that is scary, because frankly, I don't want to get roped into doing something for the rest of my life that I don't enjoy, I'm gonna have to destroy myself to make this happen. And I hate that I have to do it. I hate that the world is like this. I hate that the resolve required is resolve to destroy yourself in order to make it happen, because you have to have the willpower to not only get up in the morning and do everything that you need to do in a day, but you also have to be willing to admit that it's not going to be fun. And it's never going to be fun. It's never going to be fun until you have money. And that is hard. Because that's the sad reality. I'm 21. I'm 21. I've just started. And I've got to get going. And it's so hard to even start, because why would I? Why would I even begin? There's no point, I do not see a reason to even start, because it could easily just be taken from me. Everything I've worked for could be taken by some corrupt government or stupid billionaire CEO that just wants my money so he can have more money and do nothing with it. I just know I want these things, and I know how to get them, and I'm scared that all my hard work is just going to be ripped away from me, and I won't get to have my dreams. Not because I didn't earn them, but because someone thought they were stupid, I guess. And they could just be, boop, taken away at a moment's notice, especially in America right now. I'm obviously American, living here right now, especially with all the cultural anomalies that I possess. It's hard. It's hard. I'm going to put it out there because I don't care. I am a pansexual, gender fluid Satanist. I live in the deep south. Worst off, I live in Georgia, in the deep south, which means we are right in the middle of the Bible Belt. So all of those things that I just said are very deplorable. And on top of that, we've got this stupid shit going on with the government right now. It's so scary to just be alive right now. I'm terrified. That's why I want to move so bad. I'm just terrified of being here because everything I have could be ripped away from me because I'm a little different, you know. That's stupid. Everything I have could be torn away from me at a moment's notice. You know, it's ridiculous. You know, I live in a time where you can't even think differently, let alone forget being a pioneer, having a unique idea. My God. You have a unique idea, people lock you up for treason now. Or they'll send you to Alcatraz at the moment. Jesus. They just might send you out of country for thinking a little differently. You know, I can't even begin to chase my dreams. Because what if it gets me shut up? You know? I have the will to do what I need to do. I know I do. I can do this, and I will. I'm scared. And my resolve is gone. I do not have the will to keep this up. I do, but I just don't want to. I've lost sight of purpose, of the goal, I guess. I've lost sight of what's important, I suppose, and I don't even know where to look to find it. I'm just out here for me at that point. I don't want to say that because it seems selfish as shit, but I am. I don't really have a choice. There's nothing else to fight for. I mean, you know, I've got other things I care about, yeah, of course, but it's, you know, it sounds terrible to say it, but it's just not enough. It's not. Even my dear partner, even she's starting to not be enough to get me up in the morning. You know, and it's not even her fault. You know, it's just, I just don't want to do this again and again and again every day. I'm exhausted. And you know, normally I try to turn these around into something that maybe we can both kind of cling on to here, you know, as a speaker and an audience. But I've really got nothing on this one. I'm just exhausted and tired, and I don't know what to do either. But, you know, if there is someone listening to this, I would really appreciate any amount of help, because I don't know what I'm doing. And, these aren't really necessarily a cry for help. This is really me just kind of talking and getting my thoughts out so I can just kind of throw them away, I guess. I don't know, but I don't want to seem like I'm just throwing this on the internet and begging for attention. I'm not. I don't crave your recognition, your acceptance, although I'm sure I would be plenty accepted. It's just, it's hard being me right now. I'm sure it's hard being you too, random person. I try not to say audience or chat because, this is a little personal. And I want to address each of you personally. Because I know that, maybe if these do go somewhere, I can certainly do this if I know that there are others out there watching. Because whether you say it or not, whether you say a damn thing or not, I don't care. If you see these, then I know that someone cares. And that is the world to me. That means that someone, somewhere, cares enough to listen to my little rants, and maybe they're rooting for me. Maybe they want me to do well. And that's all I need to say. If I'm going to get through this, I'm going to drag as many people as possible with me. Honestly, that's what's really getting me up in the morning right now. It's never been about me. It's been about everybody else. And that's been really unhealthy for me. Maybe that is the uplifting note. I don't know. Anyway, there is someone watching this. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I hope you have a good rest of your day, or you get some good sleep. Maybe you are asleep. that would be kind of creepy. But hey, yeah, I'm not one to judge. I appreciate it, guys. Here's to doing better. See you next time.